Previously on Mega Man 6, Anticlimaxes. And now... Hello, Rowan Mithril here once again, getting back to the Mega Man 6 Fortress Stage Perfect runs. It's time for the final stage, and that means, at long last, we must scale the Baguette of Fate. So this is a rather short stage. Holding left here, sometimes you can get in there and get that weapon energy, but no biggie if you miss it. It's just one large weapon pickup and that's it. And we have a net dispenser here. Still want one of these for my room. For those wondering, no, you can't just bypass it. If you try, you're blocked by an invisible wall until it's gone. So, moving on. Hey there, Eddie, what you got for me? Oh dear. And so it's boss time. Behold, Wily Machine 6. For the first phase, you always want to move under it when it jumps. The jump distance is set in this phase. You also constantly have to deal with the floor moving underneath you. It's kind of like the Matonga Z fight, except it makes a bit more sense because now it's like you're moving farther into the room. Basically, the first form isn't that dangerous. So now it's time for the second form. This time, Wily's jump distances are randomized, but he can't make it all the way across the screen to hit you. If he's all the way against the left, for example, he can't get all the way to the right. You'll still have some wiggle room. So long as you learn the timing, you're okay. Just get out of the way if he gets too close. Every time Wily jumps, it also changes the direction that the floor moves. But there we go. But we're not done yet. It's time for the Wily Capsule. This one, the shot patterns can be kind of annoying. That was close. If he's within range, you want to stay kind of close by to one of his corners. Then the bullets can't hit you. They have to swirl too far outwards. They have a slight bit of an ability to correct themselves, so it is a bit of a dangerous thing. Generally, when he's in range, you can hit him 2 to 3 times, 3 if you're really lucky. He's definitely had more annoying Wily Capsules, so this still isn't too terribly bad. It also feels like he gets down in your range more frequently. Of course, now that I've said that, he's going to stay up there, I'm sure. It's basically just learning kind of where he's going to send his bullets and where you need to be to avoid them. So all in all, there have been far worse Wily fights than this. And there we go! Wily Capsule is down! And so we've defeated Dr. Wily, for the 6th time! And we're not taking any chances. Wily Freakout! And Dr. Wily... Bien Un? We've brought him to justice. Sentenced to prison for his crimes. Dr. Wily now rules over a prison cell. Well, at least he has something. At long last, the world is at peace. And so, roll the credits. So, yeah, while they're letting the Robot Masters do their thing here, Mega Man 6. I still enjoy it. I still do enjoy it more than other entries in the series. I personally like it more than 1, 2, and 8. But it definitely has its issues. The most notable is that they kind of messed up the control scheme, something terrible. I don't really know how they got that so wrong. The best I can do as far as describing it is to call them sticky controls. A lot of times, if you're in the middle of a slide and need to jump cancel, you just can't. Or if you're trying to jump and shoot at the same time, a lot of times your inputs will cancel each other out and you'll do neither and just sit there like a ninny. Kind of annoying when that happens. So I'm not really sure what went wrong there. The Robot Masters themselves, I really love their designs. Just the sheer variety that they had that they could work with going with this international theme. I really love some of the designs they came up with here. I love Flame Man, Yamato Man, he's my personal favorite of the set. And I even have to admit Nightman looks pretty cool. Centaur Man was a really interesting design. Still kind of wonder what they would have done with Centaur Man in the Battle Network series. The weapons overall in this game are semi-lackluster, and I think most of that, honestly, is just that every single weapon, with I think the possible exception of Centaur Flash, just uses the default shot sound when you use them, and that just kind of feels a little lazy. But still, they're okay weapons. Night Crush is actually pretty fun. I have to admit that one. I do like Night Crush. I'm still not really sure how I entirely feel about the Rush suits, though. It's like I said a few videos ago, it kind of feels like they take away a lot of the charm of having an animal helper, but at the same time they are kind of fun to play around with. I love the jet suit, it is really fun to use. But at the same time, it just feels less interesting than, hey, I have a dog that helps me. Instead now it's, hey, I have a dog that I wear. It's kind of the robot equivalent of a fur coat. Less thought about that, the better. I kind of have to wonder in these scenes what they're having the Robot Masters react to. Because it's like they have no idea which way they're supposed to be aiming, what attack they're supposed to be using. So it's kind of funny just seeing them sort of spaz out. But overall, I do still really enjoy Mega Man 6. I will say the Fortress stages were a bit draining, though. Largely things like Power Piston, Mechazorus before I really knew how to deal with them, and even then it is still a really slow battle. To be fair, the Robot Masters I had trouble with in the rematch stage, apparently a lot of it is positioning. If you very precisely position yourself at just the right distance away from them, it negates some of their things like Tomahawk Man short hops, and also it apparently affects the distance that Nightman runs or something like that. So there are apparently ways around it, and also, to be honest, I'm sure they expect you to just pop on the Rush Jet suit and dodge that way. Fair enough, really. But I'm stubborn about that kind of thing. If I can do it without the Rush suit, I have to. And, well, I did. And so with that, Mega Man 6 comes to a close, with the promise of more to come. But for now, it's time for Outtakes. Enjoy! He'll alternate jumping left and right every time, and it also reverses the direction of the floor moving, and that was dumb. His bullets kind of swing outward toward you, and they can be a bit tricky to dodge sometimes. Don't just jump into it like that, that was dumb! And so with that, Mega Man 6 comes to a close. And all that's left is a quick bit of analysis for Wily's latest creation. I give Skull Castle Stage 4 a 1 out of 10. Simply put, this particular Wily Capsule, it really isn't that hard to figure out. The swirling shots can seem intimidating, but once you get a feel for how they move, they're pretty much no trouble. The first two phases of the battle don't really add much to it either. The first phase, it's pretty easy to get around everything. The way the shot patterns move, you have plenty of warning to get out of the way, and since the jumps are predetermined, it's just a matter of knowing when to slide, really. Simple enough. The second phase is slightly trickier, but only just. Learn what to watch for, learn the timing of the shots, and it's also pretty simple. That last phase, that's really the only part that can feel semi-dangerous. But it's like I said, Wily feels almost more cooperative in this particular Wily capsule than in most of the ones he's thrown at us, or has yet to toss our way. The swirling shots can be a little tricky to read given their ability to correct themselves either way a little bit, but once you get used to their movement, you start getting a sense of where you need to be, and it's still pretty simple overall. And, well, of course the stage itself is a non-issue. An optional cannon and a Met dispenser, no biggie. So, a 1 out of 10 for Skull Castle 4. I think Wily needs that jail time to think up something a bit more devious. And looking ahead to the Mega Man 7 Fortress stages, it worked. But that's a project for another time. For now, Mega Man 6 is complete, and so ends the NES era of the Blue Bomber's adventures. Still a fun game despite its flaws, I still really do enjoy this one. And hey, at least those obnoxious explosion sounds are behind us. So with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Mega Man 6 Fortress Stage Perfect runs. As always, I thank you all for your support and for enjoying my work, and I shall see you again in the next video. Until then, fare thee well.